August 4th at the Paseo Valencia, sponsored in part by Good Neighbor Farms.
Is hakelem, hakelem, hake, hakelem, hakelem, hake, hakelem, hakelem, hake, hakelem, hakelem. Every day is hakelem, padron dajes hakelem. Every day is hakelem, padron dajes hakelem. Every day is hakelem, padron dajes hakelem. Every day is hakelem, hakelem, hake, hakelem.
The scene is East Los Angeles. The language is Armenian. This video, and others like it, are the product of a transcultural world, where the global city connects and affects culture of the traditional homeland. The video is the work of Grisha Akakanyan, a Russian-born Armenian who was trained as a dentist. The Armenian words come from the song Patrondash, a standard of rabbis, a popular style of music considered in low taste by many Armenians. Rabbis performers sing in a tenor that mimics traditional and mainstream vocal styles heard in Turkish or Arabic music. Many of the songs are Middle Eastern, but with Armenian lyrics. The music itself is a mashup of Patrondash and Hustlin' by the American rapper Rick Ross. Visually speaking, the video is an odd mixture of cultural symbols. African American, Armenian, and Latino men display tattoos and represent with hand signs and body language that mimic the gestures of street gangs. A hand displays an Armenian cross and a military dog tag. A man beats a dol, a traditional Armenian drum. Well-dressed people dance in a nightclub. An Armenian man sits on a sofa, beautiful women flanking him. Expensive cars surround a young African-American man as he raps about his patrondash, a type of bandolier. The video, Patrondash, is an example, and only one example, of the cultural soup served up every day to Armenians through the media. The question is, do videos such as this, and the many others like it on Armenian television, represent some new hybrid form of culture? How do young Armenians decode these videos? Such videos offer the opportunity to explore the notion of hybrid culture, an idea that many scholars see as an important component of global culture. Marwan Crady defines hybridity as mixing heterogeneous cultural elements into recombinant forms. For Crady, global culture is hybrid. Crady is skeptical of the idea that foreign influence can wipe out local traditions, but he's ambivalent about the resilience of local culture. Crady favors hybridity as a broader term than creolization or metizaje, both of which imply more specific connections to race and colonization. Hybridity requires cross-cultural contact, often across national borders, as well as across cultural boundaries. Contact involves movement, the movement of cultural commodities such as media programs, or the movement of people through migration. Crady writes that hybridity is the prima facie global condition caused by voluntary and forced migrations, wars, invasions, slavery, intermarriages, and trade. This perfectly describes the Armenians. The Armenian Empire reached its greatest extent around 70 BC under Tigran the Great. Strabo in his geography writes that the Parthians subdued the Medes and the Babylonians, but could not conquer the Armenians under King Tigran. Since then, Armenian history has been one of conquest. The Seljuk Turks invaded the Armenian homeland for the first time in the 11th century, beginning several hundred years of rule by Muslim Turks. As the nation has steadily diminished in size, a diaspora of Armenians has continued, first to Europe and the Middle East, then to the United States. A great surge of Armenians came to the U.S., and specifically Southern California, beginning around 1915, when the Ottoman Turks practiced ethnic cleansing of Armenians in eastern Turkey, in what has been called the first genocide of the 20th century. 1.5 million Armenians were killed or died on forced marches, according to the Armenian Research Center at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. Today, 240,000 Armenians and Armenian Americans live in California, about 180,000 in Los Angeles County, according to the 2010 U.S. Census. The largest community of Armenians in the U.S. is in Glendale, California, immediately north of Lincoln Heights. The connection between Armenian and Hispanic communities seems natural, given their geographic relation, and that both are diasporic communities at the edge of a global city that is a center of entertainment and communication. Music videos are a staple of Armenian television. Music videos make up most of the programming on Darkis on Mek, a cable channel that bills itself as the Armenian music television. Darkis on Mek mimics American MTV, including shows in which celebrities moderate playlists of their personal favorites. During my time in the country, I found that every Armenian TV channel played music videos at some time of the day. These included videos by Beyoncé, Kanye West, Justin Timberlake, and other American artists, but also videos by Armenians. The visual style of Armenian musicians appeared to be heavily influenced by American performers, but many incorporated Armenian locations and symbolism. During these 5 weeks, we conducted 5 focus groups at 4 schools. 2 groups were held at the Mikatar Sabastatsi Educational Complex, a magnet school in Yerevan. One of the groups was held at Razdan Humanitarian Institute in the provincial capital of Razdan. One was held at the high school in the rural village of Bijni, and one at a summer camp near the village of Ankavar, operated by the Armenian National Lycée, a private school. The students ranged in age from 13 to 21 years old. All were volunteers recruited by their teachers. Haikaz Bakhyan and Nareen Khachatryan of the Media Education Center of Yerevan were instrumental in setting up the sessions. Ms. Khachatryan also served as interpreter.
Let's do this one more time. Play life. Hey. Yo, every time I write a song, you are the thesis, the topic of my story.
We listened to their ideas about Armenian culture and the music they liked, then showed them 2 videos, following each with discussion. We showed them Patrondash and this video, Uzum Vor, a combination of rap and rabiz. Specifically, we wanted to know, how did the students define Armenian music? What did they think made music Armenian? How did Armenian students evaluate videos such as Patrondash and Uzum Vor that combined American and Armenian music and symbolism? Did the students accept these videos as Armenian, as American, or as a hybrid combination? In the course of the discussions, the students expressed a strong sense of how to define Armenian music and the visual culture that goes with it. Specifically, they agreed that for music to be Armenian, it must be sung in the Armenian language with its unique alphabet, syntax, and grammar. But several students said that singing an American song, for example, in Armenian would not make the music Armenian. Armenian music must use Armenian instruments, especially the duduk, a double reed instrument with an immediately recognizable mournful sound. Other instruments include the dol, and this instrument, the zurna. The students were well versed in traditional Armenian music, preserved by the musicologist Komitas Vardapet, who traveled the country early in the 20th century and wrote down hundreds of folk songs. Popular Armenian artists often incorporate these folk songs in their repertoires. A young woman at the Mikhatar Sabastatsi Educational Complex told us,
Komitas filtered Armenian traditional music and he released that music from old Turkish elements. He purified that music.
Many of the students said wearing the Armenian taraz, or traditional costume, contributes to making music Armenian, although by itself Armenian dress was not enough. Dance is also part of Armenian tradition. The students mentioned this video specifically.
They were dancing Armenian dances. Although they included persons of different nationalities, all over the world people watched that show and it could be easily recognized.
I call you Gacho, 'cause that means shorty.
In watching our two examples, the students clearly saw American and Armenian elements as separate, although a few students liked the way Super Sako and Mer Hovo combined rabiz and rap. Many said the traditional Patrandash, with its lyrics of village life, seemed out of place in urban East Los Angeles. One student said,
I liked this video clip for the song because I like the song. And when I listen to this song, I just imagine a village, and I just imagine farmers with mustaches and beards, and animals.
The implication is that this is not really hybrid in the sense that the Armenian and American elements did not fit well together. The students took serious exception to the way women were presented in the videos. They had well-formed ideas about how Armenian women behave, and it wasn't like what they saw in Uzumem Vor. One young woman said,
She doesn't look like an Armenian because this is a scene of temptation. An image of an Armenian woman does not correspond to that.
When I first looked at these two videos, I was fascinated by the cultural mix. These videos weren't exceptions either, as a couple of hours watching Armenian television would prove. The videos, as mixtures of American and Armenian music and symbolism, might represent some third thing, but that's not how the students saw them.
Armenians who are singing that way are striving to make their video clips resemble American video clips, because American culture is a global culture, and they're striving to enter that global world. That is why they are preparing clips this way, just to be accepted and to become famous. The Armenian music is something which, like Armenian heart and blood, this is something that cannot be separated from a person, from a nation. This is music which is born from stones, from soil, from the air we breathe.
Hey, hey. Nous sommes